And we're back. You're now tuned in to the Recap with the GoodFellaz podcast. We back in the building. You know how we do every week. It's the GoodFellaz chopping it up about everything that went down during the week. It's your boy Tommy Guns alongside my man Sha Montana. What's good?
What up? What up?
Also, we got my man Karev Ya Heritage Hip Hop in the building.
Salute, peace and blessings.
And we got a special guest today, Dr. Teresa. We got to come up with a cooler name right now.
I know.
Long-time Goodfella associate.
Reese right now.
Yeah. Teresa's in the building. We'll come up with a better name. She's a doctor. We'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And this is the Recap with the Goodfella. Shouts my man Dav Noble. He couldn't make it today. He's ripping and running. And shout out to Big A. He'll be jumping on the podcast a little bit later, as usual. And as usual, in a week, a lot of stuff went down. We're going to talk about it. Election season is like right around the corner, so you already know we're going to get into that. Plus, we got some sports to talk about. We'll get some music involved. We are the Goodfellas, and this is what we do. So,
Yo, for real?
Word. So first things first, I mean, the election's like 3 weeks away, and it seems like every day, whether we want to or not, we hear a topic having to do with either Biden, Trump, politics, something like that. So I think actually today I saw on the Facebook feed, there was an article where Ice Cube supposedly had been quote unquote, working with the Trump campaign on the Trump campaign's recently announced platinum package for African Americans. That's supposed to be this plan just to, help him continue to be the best thing that ever happened to African Americans since Lincoln. And actually, Ice Cube had got some heat from people who were like, wait, what? You working with Trump, whatever? He had some comments. We're going to get into all of that. Karev, let me throw this question your direction. We all heard by now, Cube working with Trump sort of kind of on his platinum package. How do you feel about that?
I applaud Ice Cube 100% because he did not work with him on the platinum package. Mm-hmm. What he did was present the contract with Black America to the Trump campaign or administration. Mm-hmm. And what they did was they took parts of the contract with Black America out and came up with that horrible platinum plan that Trump presented. One thing I'm going to say to everybody who's angry at Ice Cube, mm-hmm. I want to just ask one simple question. Did you read the contract with Black America? That's number one. Mm-hmm. If you did you read the platinum plan? If you didn't read either one, then you have nothing of legitimate opinion to say unless you're just giving your emotions. Because one thing, a lot of people are going off of emotion and they're not going off of fact. Because if I ask somebody, what about the contract with Black America did Donald Trump take out that you agree with or disagree with? Most people will say blah, 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 blah. They have nothing to say. Yeah. And that's why I think a lot of people are feeling. And it's always the first person that does anything that gets crucified. But at least he stepped up as an entertainer with a plan instead of Biden talking to Cardi B and she just asks him questions, or Trump talks to Steve Harvey and he gets a dumb laugh when he comes out the building with nothing of merit to say. It's just why'd you meet with Trump? And they're like, well, if you read the contract with Black America, it was a very precise plan that was brought out, and you have to know the enemy that you go against. That's why snakes are some of the most cunning and smartest hunters in the world, because they actually study their prey before they attack. So as far as us trying to get Trump out of office, it's good for us to know what he is not doing so we can counteract it. And shame on the Democrats for telling him to wait when this is something pivotal that can help them with voting. Why everybody should go out and vote, by the way. But it's something very pivotal that can give you information on why you're voting, how you're voting, and what you're voting for.
Okay, cool. So I just want to throw this in there. I'm going to get into my personal feelings. We'll all get into our personal feelings, but let's not forget that Biden also has a plan that's on his website, has been on his website for several months, also talking about his ideas and his plan for the African-American community. So we'll get into that all. Let's not also suggests that only Trump has a plan. Matter of fact, Trump actually was the last to come out with that. So we'll get into that. Everybody tuned in right now to the recap with the GoodFellaz podcast. We want to introduce our homegirl, Teresa. We definitely need some female energy on these podcasts sometimes, because the ladies, we appreciate you guys always watching the podcast, listening to the podcast. And, you know, one of the biggest questions, like, yo, what's up with the ladies? We need somebody representing for the ladies. So we got not only one of our best friends in the world, but an educated, doctored, just all around cool individual. Teresa, what's going on? How are you?
How are y'all? Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We appreciate
so
you.
honored to be a lady in the space of this like gentleman, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's how it's always been, you know what I'm saying? Since like high school, you know what I mean?
We do go way back, yo.
Yeah. So we want different eyes on the question. We want a different perspective. So did you hear about the controversy with Ice Cube and his, well, I can't even say help, because he, like Karev said, put the plan out there, and the Trump campaign adapted parts of it for their platinum package. Yeah. How do you feel about the whole situation? Are you mad at Cube? Nah. How do you feel about the platinum package?
Not really mad at Cube for the intent of wanting to, have to progress the Black cause. Mm-hmm. Because I understand that, if we're, you have to know who you're playing with, like Karev said, you have to know your enemy, because those are the people that are oppressing us are these people that we have to work with in a way. We need them to be allies, but also we need to know how they think and see how much they want to invest in us. Not that they really want to. But what I have a problem with is Ice Cube knowing who Trump is. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like, he has to see that he doesn't really care. And so, it's not like, if let's say Mitt Romney was president and Ice Cube came up with the Black, contract to try to present to, President, what's his name, Romney. I feel like at least Romney has a baseline expectation that at least he has maybe good intent, right? Mm-hmm. But everything about Trump is giving us the idea that he doesn't really care about us. He doesn't give a fuck about us, which is why when they extracted whatever they wanted from the actual Black contract, it was literally bullshit. I looked at it and it was, I said, what is this? It's like 2 pages of PowerPoint presentation that has no meat. Yeah. And I was like, what does this mean? Like, you have all these numbers just flying around and you're essentially just giving us the talk. It's like,
like, it sounds good.
It sounds good. Like, here, let me just give you your consolation prize right now. Shut you up. We like the Black people. Let's just show them that we want to do something for the Black people. And then after an election comes, there's nothing there anymore. Like, there's no actual plan. And I like that underneath it says, what did it say? Paid for by Trump campaign. That tells me they don't care. Like, if you're really interested in doing something for Black people, should be paid for by, Trump campaign. It should be on a White House government plan, or like a Congress. I went to Congress, like the Congress website, just to see, do they even have any plan for the first step that they were talking about? Nothing. So they don't care. It is not really legit. And for Ice Cube to allow himself to be a pawn in that way, I feel like is not to our benefit, because yes, I haven't really read the details of the Black contract, but I read this whole platinum plan. And by the way, why do we call it platinum plan?
I was about to say, like, is it me, or is that the definition of pandering? The platinum plan.
The platinum plan. Let's use the Black term.
Yeah. Not only that, but like, let's use the most hip hop term.
Yeah.
To apply to how we feel about the entire African American experience.
Pandering us is just literally just giving us like little crumbs. Let me just tell you, I kind of care about Black people. I'm gonna get to it. I'm working with Ice Cube. Even the person that worked when they put it online, who was the White House person? She goes, shout out to Ice Cube. I'm like, when did you start talking about shout out to Ice Cube? Like, that makes no sense.
It was something. It was. I gotta find the exact tweet, but it's like she dropped like something about drama.
Yeah.
Hold on. Shout out to. I'm gonna find it in a minute, but it was like something about drama. We don't want no drama or something, but it just sounded coming from them. It just did not sound authentic.
It's not
Who's
authentic.
this y'all talking about?
I don't know who the
Who's this person?
secretary or somebody that was tweeting about shout out to Ice Cube for working with us and something. It was stupid. It was stupid. But my whole point is just pandering, like you said, Tommy. It's just really just pandering to what they think that we want to hear, so that we can, in the short term, come to them, vote for them, and then forget about it when election is over. You know.
Yeah.
So I applaud him for trying, Ice Cube, but I think that you have to know the person that you want to try with. It's like trying to have an argument with a 5-year-old. I'm going to have a different argument with a 5-year-old than I would with an adult. I would bring like a plan, PowerPoint presentation to a legit meeting of like power players versus like I'm giving a little lecture for like 10th graders. It's going to be different. My energy is going to be different. My presentation is going to be different, and my expectation of what is going to come of this thing is going to be different. And I don't know why Ice Cube thought he was going to be anything other than what we think, which is bullshit.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yo, Sean Montana, how do you feel about the whole situation? Did you hear about it? Do you care? Holla at us, man.
I heard about it. It's funny that that y'all mentioned pandering, because that's honestly, that's all they do, all of them. That's why last week I was heavy on Facebook, like, yo, Democrats, Republicans, nobody cares about us. Period. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Ice Cube deserves any blame? Because me personally, I don't think he necessarily. It wasn't like he was like, yo, Trump, come here, let me holler at you. Like his vision that he had put out there was, in essence, co-opted by Trump, and then he created this quote-unquote platinum package. So can we really blame Ice Cube? Did he do anything wrong to you?
Well, what I'm going to say about Ice Cube is it's either you're going to appeal to Trump or you're going to appeal to Biden. Trump is the leader of the quote-unquote free world now. Biden is the potential leader of the free world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he went to who's in power now and may be in power another 4 years as to somebody who may take office in January for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have a problem with Ice Cube doing that.
I'm just wondering, when did this actually happen? Because I know they brought out the platinum plan now. It's unclear to me when this whole conversation or presentation by Ice Cube to the White House or to Trump actually happened, because that makes me also feel like a little bit like, are you allowing yourself to be a pawn? Because if this is a conversation that you're having right now versus this is something that you've been working on for the past 6 months, I understand that. But, in 2 weeks left for the election, and this is a conversation you're having before the election, he has to know that there's some kind of connotation to that. He has to know that it's going to look suspicious, at least from our perspective, in a way.
I know personally, the last couple of weeks we've been having conversations, and Karev's actually been bringing up his plan in various discussions we've had. Okay. I know personally, from what I understand, he had the plan, which was
the black contract, you mean?
Yeah, which was sent out to Democrats and Republicans.
Okay.
Biden's team, who already has a plan on their site, whatever. But he was like, it sounds good, but we'll holler at you after the election. In essence, if we win, because otherwise, what are we going to do? Mm-hmm. Trump took it, and then I think it, and became the platinum package. Karev, does that sound right to you?
Mostly yes, but no, because the contract with Black America debuted months ago, before Biden had his plan on his website. So this came out prior to, it came out around the time before Kamala Harris was picked as the running mate, a little bit after Biden got the vote, you know what I'm saying, to run for president. But that contract, it was two movements that was going on. It was the contract with Black America and the independent nation of talk of being all people of color being a sovereign nation inside of America, then to be world citizens and go for that identity. You know what I'm saying? Those are the two major movements, and the contract with Black America got more sting. So Biden came out with his plan effectively after people start digging into his past and bringing out all the racist stuff that he's been attributed to. You see what I'm saying? And all the, like the weird stuff he was saying about bouncing kids on his lap and stuff like that. They came out with his plan to like, okay, y'all saying this about me, but here's what I propose. You know what I'm saying? As far as Democrats or Republicans siding with him and everything, at the end of the day, I think it's brilliant strategy, because if you understand the articles of war, if you want to take it there, you always meet with the general or the head of the army before you enact a plan. You know what I'm saying? You just don't go out fighting, you know what I mean? And you present what's going on and y'all come to an agreement, or you don't. I will give Trump this credit. When you're a manipulative businessman, you will use anything that you want to do to make yourself look right. Mm-hmm. And I would not give Biden, what I would not give Biden credit for is, if you're running for president, especially after making statements like you ain't black if you don't vote Democrat and stuff like that, you're not effectively, you talk about pandering, you're not effectively pandering then to the people that you want on your side, because you're taking someone who's considered an icon, especially in our hip hop community. You're taking someone who's considered an icon, who's always stood for people, and putting him on the back burner, when hip hop has always been about our voices never being heard, and especially about respect. So I will tell you this. I stand with Ice Cube 100%, and everybody that's mad at him, you mad at me too. Come see me.
All right, that's what's up. Shout out to everybody tuned in right now. It's your boy Tommy Guns. My personal opinion is, am I mad at Ice Cube? No way, because at the end of the day, he has a vision of what he would like to happen for his community. It was presented to both sides, you know, like to everybody, you know, like, you know, whenever we have an idea, any of us, you know, like sometimes whoever gives us an ear, we're going to talk our talk. Now, let's be honest, this whole platinum package, stuff like that, it sounds terrible to me, you know? Yeah. And, you know, like the whole presentation, the name, it sounds like the definition of pandering.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, it took you, for the record, Joe Biden announced his campaign for the minority communities, not just African Americans, but Latinos as well, in July. So, you know, for months, he's actually had a plan, you know, but it's like, this is my plan if I win. I just, you know, like, it's one thing if you want to name it like, you know, economic opportunities for all, but like platinum package, really? I'm like, come on, like, who are you talking to? Like,
people talking to us, right?
It doesn't, there's just no authenticity. And then you're waiting until it's October now. You wait till October to actually come out with a plan to address helping out the minority community. Like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you're trying to do, and I understand it from Art of War, split your enemies type of thing. He's trying to get as many minority votes as possible. I feel it. It makes sense. But let's be real. Nobody, and then by the way, nobody's saying Biden is the champion of all people of color, but at the same time, racists, white nationalists, KKK, who are they voting for? Let's be honest. Like, are they thinking like, yo, that Joe Biden guy, he makes a lot of sense? Or are they like, Trump, man, MAGA? Like, no, we already know. Like, you know, I get it. You know, I understand the theory of it and the art of warness of it. But come on, bro, you do not care about the minority community. You do not care about the African-American community. The platinum package as a name sucks. Like, come on, like, it's like a cheap marketing ploy. You know what I'm saying?
That's the way we can we can get all the blacks' attention. Let's call it platinum.
Yeah. To me, it feels similar to how a couple weeks ago, all of a sudden Trump wants to give money to Puerto Rico.
Right.
When 2 years ago, when the hurricane hit, he was throwing paper towels like, what's up?
At them, right.
You know what I mean? So I get the concept.
Yeah.
But, you know, am I feeling it? Nah. Am I mad at Ice Cube? Nah. I mean, listen, like, Easy, but I will say this, being a hip-hop fan, I remember when Eazy-E went to the White House with Bush. You know what I mean? I thought that was dope. I thought that was fly. You know what I mean? Just whatever. But Cube was taking shots at him back in the day. Don't ever think I don't remember that. So am I mad at Cube? Nah. But at the end of the day, you also got to know that it's one thing to have an idea or, you know, something that you want to do, but don't be used as a pawn in somebody's chess game,
Right.
especially when the results of said game could, you know, take it from positively affecting them to negative. Because anybody could say, yo, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, but are they gonna do it? Why did it take 4 years for you to decide, okay, you know what? Let me help out the African American community. Like, you've been president for 3.5 years and now you want to get platinum?
Literally.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah. 2 weeks before the election is when he wants to talk about it.
Definitely.
But we're making a big mistake here.
Uh-huh.
And the big mistake is this. And this is for the people who are emotionally driven, not prepared to have the conversation. Mm-hmm. Everybody's attacking Ice Cube, where Ice Cube has taken the same steps that Paul Robeson has taken. He's taken the same steps as Harry Belafonte has taken. And Ice Cube is not a dumb individual. So, you know, if he took this, which he did, took this meeting, he took it with the onus of talking to people who are political in society and had a plan put together. Yeah. It wasn't a Zoom interview where he's eating and talking to somebody about nothing. You see what I'm saying? And the one thing I will tell you is, once again, he presented it to both sides. Now, is it his fault one side bit and the other didn't? No. Did he endorse either side? No. He said over and over, I'm only going to endorse my people. I'm not endorsing a political party. And another thing I'm going to say is watch where you get your news from, everybody, because you got people putting up sensationalism. You got people putting Ice Cube in the Make America Great hat, and that's not what he did.
Yeah.
And for everybody who's people of color that really want to know what's going on, we're not sponsored by them, but watch Roland Martin Unfiltered. At least you get unfiltered news from people who are of knowledge, who look like us, come from the places we come from, and are affected by the same things. I make my decisions by my faith, and I make it by the landscape of society. And one thing the Bible says that I always bring this up to people, the Bible says never vote for anybody to be a leader of your nation that's not from your nation, because they'll never listen to the issues of your people. We've seen this through American society for centuries. So for now, one person to stand up and say, I represent this, and here's my plan for us. And since you have power and you're trying to come into power, how are you going to meet us at your best for the benefit of us? I'm not going to stand against him. The line that you said about Eazy-E did not go meet with the president. But he said that because of how it looked. We have the right to judge Ice Cube on the onus of how it looks. But in reality, he's not the same MC he was back then. We've all matured, whether you like it or not. We have more to gain. We have more to lose and now more to gain when it comes to politics and policies in America, because now the onus is on the knowledge. And
absolutely.
And now, like I said, going back to the original point, not to be too long-winded, I salute Ice Cube for what he's doing. Now it's time for us to step up, because I'm going to just leave it just like this. This is my last thing. We are past the time of who's the black leader. Right. We don't need a black leader. Who's the Puerto Rican leader? Who's the Dominican leader in this country? Who's the Asian American leader? There is none. There's people.
Who's the white? There's no leaders. It's the illusion of leadership, as we've seen.
What it is community and people coming together. So I applaud him once again for making something that got us to even talk about it, to put the onus back on the election so we know to vote. So everybody out there, if you are voting, and I urge you, if this is such a hot issue to you, then use your power to put a man in office or to take a man out of office. Right. The bottom line is this: everybody, at the end of the day, what are you going to do when it comes to this? Because people could do this and talk all damn day. And I'm tired of people talking. People get on my nerves. The Bible says the power of life and death was in the tongue. Okay, well, we talked about it. Now you're going to bring life to the community, or you're going to bring death to the community. Whatever you do, let your actions dictate who you are, what you stand for. And at the end of the day, I'm with whatever, because I stand with righteousness. And if you're righteous, then I'm going to stand with you. If you're not, then you're going to get chopped off.
Definitely. Yo, Sean Montana, now that Trump has dropped his platinum package, do you feel like he officially cares about the African American community?
No.
Okay. Do you feel like this is authentic, as in he wants to help out, or is he just looking for votes?
I think he's just looking for votes.
I feel you. I feel you. Can we all agree? Let's be realistic that this is more an attempt to siphon some votes from the Democratic Party than his genuine, authentic caring for the African American community?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have, number one, just to kind of follow up with what Karev is saying, if you have any kind of opinion about what Ice Cube is doing and how you think it's fucked up or not fucked up or whatever the case is, and you're not even registered to vote, you don't even have a voice. Like, I don't even understand why you're arguing. Like, what's the point? If you're not even planning on going to vote, then what's the point of having a conversation about what Ice Cube is doing to try to better our lives, and you're not doing anything to try to better your life? You know? You can't sit here and say, oh, word, Trump is trying to like help black people, but what's Biden doing? He's really not. So you can't use that as a reason to say I'm sitting this out either. So anyone that has any conversation, any kind of opinion, and you have not registered to vote or not voted, I voted. So I don't understand what the conversation is about. Like, you literally don't have anything to say. And yes, voting is important, but some people don't think that it is. But voting and having the right person, at least maybe a second or third in Biden's case, but even if Biden's not the best person for this job, I mean, that you think anyway, Trump is definitely not the right person. Yeah. So there's no conversation about sitting something out thinking that your life is going to be better. It's not. So yeah.
Sometimes there's a difference between not so good and terrible.
Right.
And sometimes it sucks that those are our choices, but those are choices we face every day. I mean, honestly, whether it's health, job-wise, sometimes economics, paying bills, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so in real life, there's not always like great choice and excellent choice. Sometimes there's like, you might die and you're definitely going to die. And you got to, you know what I'm saying? You just got to pick the best out of it. I got to let you know, it's almost that time to pay the bills. Recap with the GoodFellaz. We are sponsored by, first things first, heritagehiphop.com. Karev, holler at them real quick. Let them know about the website and how crazy it is.
Everybody, look, quality interviews, the best interviews done in New Jersey, hands down. And Not only that, free music. We're introducing Heritage Hip Hop playlist number 5 tomorrow morning. If you're a member of heritagehiphop.com, you get it early. So to do that, make sure you go to heritagehiphop.com and subscribe. Members get the benefits, and you can subscribe to us on all social media at Heritage Hip Hop. Salute.
Right. Also, shout out to my man Dav Noble, Dav the photographer, and the Collective Perspective Media. Make sure you check out his Facebook group, AEP Presents. They do movie reviews, television reviews, just pop culture in general. Shout out to him. He will be back next week. He's running around right now. Shout out to my man Big A. And of course, GoodFellazTV.com for all your pop culture news, music, interviews, concert footage, and yes, the realest podcast out there right now, The Recap. Shout out to everybody tuned in who's been watching us, whether it's through Facebook, YouTube, the website, whatever. We have to get into some politics because it's only right. When we come back, we're going to talk some sports. We got some more on the way. Shout out to my man Karev, Heritage Hip Hop, Sean Montana, Teresa in the building. It's your boy Tommy Guns. We're going to come back with more of The Recap in 1 minute. Peace.